22nd October 2021. Morning Murli. Om Shanti Bap Dada Madhuban. Patience. Sweet children, don't be afraid of Maya. No matter how much she tries to make you forget, don't get tired. Wake up at Amrit Vela and make full effort to stay in remembrance. Question. Which children can claim a high number from their efforts? Answer. Those who completely sacrifice themselves to the Father, that is, those who surrender themselves, are the ones who go ahead of others. Children surrender themselves to the Father, and the Father surrenders himself to the children. You now give everything old and worth nothing, your minds, bodies, and wealth, to the Father, and He gives you the sovereignty of the world in return. This is why He is called the Lord of the poor. The Father has come to donate to poor Bharat. Song. Show the path to the blind, dear God. Om Shanti. Sweetest, extremely sweet children. That is what would be said, is it not? He is the unlimited Father and He has unlimited love. He says, you sweet, long lost and now found children, heard the song. Only the one Father shows you the path. No one on the path of devotion can show you the path. There they continue to stumble. Now, although you have found the path, Maya does not allow you intellects to remain permanently connected to the Father. You would understand that by remembering the one Father, all your sorrow will be removed, and that there would not be anything to worry about. In spite of that, you forget Him. The Father says, consider yourselves to be souls and remember me, the purified Father. The Father is the ocean of knowledge. He is the bestower of the knowledge of the Gita. He gives you the sovereignty of heaven, that is, He grants you salvation. Krishna cannot be called the ocean of knowledge. There is only the one ocean. The earth is completely surrounded by the ocean. It is all just one ocean, but it has been divided up. You become the masters of world, and so you also become the masters of the whole of the land and the ocean. There no one says, this is my land and you must not cross our boundary. Here they have even divided up the ocean. You understand that the whole world was Bharat and that you were the masters of it. There is also the song, Baba, we claim from you the sovereignty of the world, which no one can snatch away from us. Here they even fight over water. They have to pay hundreds of thousands of rupees to get water from one another. You children are receiving the kingdom of the whole world exactly as you did in the previous cycle. The Father has given each of you a third eye of the knowledge. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is the bestower of knowledge. He comes and gives knowledge at this time. In the golden age, Lakshmi and Narayan do not have this knowledge. Yes, you can say that they took knowledge in their previous birth and became that. You are the same ones. You say, Baba, you are the same one. You made us into the masters of the world. The Father says, my directions are not complicated. Other studies are so complicated. This is very easy. You come to know the Creator and the beginning, middle and end of creation, and then tell others how you have been around the cycle of 84 births. You now have to return home with the Father. The Father has also told you that many storms of Maya will come. Don't be afraid of them. When you wake up early in the morning to sit in the remembrance, your intellect will have other thoughts and you wouldn't be able to stay in the remembrance for even 2 minutes. The Father says, don't get tired. Acha, stay in the remembrance of 1 minute and then sit again the next day and then the day after. Definitely have the determination to have remembrance. Many storms will come to anyone who indulge in peace. Purity is the main thing. Today this world is in pure brothel. Tomorrow it will be the pure Shiva temple, Shivalaya heaven. You know that this is an old body. If you continue to remember the Father all the time, then no matter when you leave your body, you will be worthy of going to heaven. You would have heard a little knowledge from the Father, would you not? There are even those who ran away from here and have now come back and are claiming their inheritance again. It has also been explained to you that your final thoughts will lead you to your destination. For instance, when someone sheds his body, he carries the sanskar of knowledge with him and he will be pulled in his childhood to come in this direction. Although his organs would be small and he would be unable to speak, he would be pulled to this knowledge from childhood. He would have good sanskar which give happiness. The Father teaches you souls. The Father gives you the example of military people. They carry those sanskar and so they join the army again. Similarly, those who study the scriptures carry those sanskar with them and so they learn the scripture by heart from childhood. They are then praised for that. Those who go from there here are praised from childhood. It is the soul that imbibes knowledge. However, the karmic accounts that remain have to be settled. They will go to heaven. At least they will come to the Father and salute him. Many subjects will be created. They will claim their inheritance from the Father. It is said at the end, "O ho Prabhu God, your divine activities are wonderful. You now understand, oh ho Baba, your divine activities are such according to the drama plan. Baba, your acts are completely different from those of all human beings. Those who do good service for the fathers receive a very good prize. They are threaded in the rosary of victory. This is spiritual knowledge which the Father, the Spirit, gives the spirits. All human beings only remember bodies. They say Sivananda or Ganges Varanda, Ganges Varnanda, etc. gives that knowledge. Here you would say that incorporeal Shiv Baba gives you knowledge. I am the highest on high, and the name of the me, the soul is Shiva. They say salutation to the Supreme Soul Shiva. Then they say to Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar, salutation to the deities. They too are to the creation. No inheritance can be received from them. Among yourselves you are brothers. You cannot receive the inheritance by remembering your brother. This Brahma Dada is also your brother. He too is a student and is studying. You will not receive the inheritance from him. He himself is receiving the inheritance from Shiv Baba. He hears first. I tell the Father, Baba, I am your first child. I receive the inheritance from you every cycle. I become your chariot every cycle. The chariot of Shiva is Brahma and the land of Vishnu is established through Brahma. You Brahmins are helpers and you will then also become masters. You know that you are now claiming your fortune of the kingdom from the Father exactly as you did 5,000 years ago. Those who claim their fortune of the kingdom in the previous cycle will come here. It can be known from each one's effort who will become an empress or subject. You will have visions of everything at the end. Everything depends on your efforts. Each of you has to surrender yourself. The Father says, I am the Lord of the poor. Only you poor ones surrender yourselves to me. Donations are always given to the poor. For instance, when someone has a college built, that is not a donation to the poor. That is not in the name of the God, but it is still a donation. When someone opens a college, he receives the fruit of that. He will have a good education in his next birth. That is the blessing he receives. The maximum donations and charity are performed in Bharat. At this time, very many donations are made. You donate to the Father and the Father donates to you. He takes your useless things from you and gives you the sovereignty of the world in return. At this time, you donate your bodies, minds, and wealth to the Father. Before those people die, they make a will. They say, give this to such and such an ashram, or that the Arya Samaj should receive everything. In fact, donations should be given to the poor who are starving. Bharat is now poor. Bharat was so wealthy in the golden age. You know that no one else can have as much food and grain as you have when you are there. There it will cost you nothing. By donating a handful of rice, you receive a palace for 21 births in return. You will also receive property. Now because even the elements are Tamo Pradhan, they continue to cause sorrow. There the elements are Sato Pradhan. You know who will go to the golden age and who will be in the copper age. At the end of the Iron Age, small sects and cuts or twigs and stems continue to emerge. You now have the knowledge of the tree, the drama, etc. in your intellects. You also know the father's part. It is shown in the Mahabharat war that only 5 Pandavas were saved. Okay, what happened then? Definitely those who study Raj Yoga ruled the kingdom. Previously, you didn't know anything either. Baba also used to study the Gita, etc. He used to worship Narayan. He loved the Gita so much. Even while traveling by train, he studied the Gita. He now realized that he did not understand anything. It was like pebbles in a tin can. You were doing so much on the path of devotion, but there was no upliftment. There is so much fighting in the world. Here to note, everyone can become pure. This is why there is fighting. The Father gives you refuge and also tells you that the illness will definitely erupt. You will remember your children, etc. You have to become conquerors of that attachment. Just think that you have died. When you belong to the Father, it means you are dead to this world. Then there would not be any awareness of the body. The Father says, forget your body and whatever bodily relations you have. It is as you whatever you see in this world does not exist. These old bodies have to be shed. We have to return home. We will return home and we will then receive beautiful new bodies. They are now ugly and they will then become beautiful. Bharat is now ugly and it will then become beautiful. Bharat is now a forest of thorns. Everyone continue to prick one another. Even when they get upset about something or other, they start insulting one another and start fighting. You children have to become very sweet even at home, otherwise, people would say, this one donated the 5 vices, so why does he get angry? Perhaps he did not donate anger.
The father says, children, donate the 5 ICs into my apron and then omens of the eclipse will be removed. The moon also becomes eclipsed. You are now becoming full, and so the father says, donate those vices. You are receiving the sovereignty of heaven. You souls receive the inheritance from the Father. The soul says there is very little time left in the old world. You have to get everything accomplished. You must end all your worries. Baba knows that many types of thoughts will come. Thoughts of your business will come on the path of devotion when they sit down to do devotion. They remember their customer and business, etc., and so they pinch themselves. I am sitting in remembrance of Narayan, and so why am I remembering those things? The same thing happens here too. When you engage yourself in this spiritual service very well, you are told that you have to let to go of your business, etc. Just engage yourself in Baba's service. It is said, if you let go, you become free. Continue to renounce body consciousness. Simply remember the Father, and from being like monkeys, you will become worthy of being seated in a temple. The Father also gives the examples of buzzing moth and the tortoise. Those people then took themselves examples onto the path of devotion. You now know who the insects are. You are the buzzing moths and you buzz this knowledge. This example refer to this time. They cannot use this same example. The festivals etc. all belong to this time. There are no festival in the golden and silver ages. All of those belong to the path of devotion. Just recently, when it was the birthday of Krishna, they created a clay image of Krishna and worshipped it and then sank it in a lake. You now understand what they do. That is blind faith. When you explain to anyone, they would not understand it. When someone falls ill, they say it was because you stopped worshipping Krishna that this has happened. There are many who are amazed in this way. They listen to knowledge, they relate it to the others, and then run away. This is why a rosary of Brahmins cannot be created. This decoration of the Brahmin clan is the most elevated, but a rosary of them cannot be created. It is in your intellects that this is the rosary of Shiv Baba, and that you will then go to the golden age and become the number wise bead of the rosary of Vishnu. Every word of yours is such that no one can understand it. The Father continues to teach you and growth continues. So many come to the exhibition, etc. They say, we will come and understand more of this. However, when they go home, everything is finished. Everything they heard there remains there. They say you show a very good path to the fine good. However, it does not enter their intellects that they should follow it and claim their inheritance. They say that Brahma Kumaris are doing very good service. That's all. So you should not understand as well, should you not? You continue to do physical service. Now do this spiritual service. All human beings continue to serve society. No one does service without charge. How would they be able to feed themselves? You children are now doing very good service. You feel a lot of mercy for Bharat. What was our Bharat like before? Now look what Ravan has made its condition like. We will now follow the Father's Srimad and definitely claim your inheritance, our inheritance. You know that you now belong to the confluence age and that all the rest belong to the iron age. We are going across to that side. Those who stay in the remembrance of the Father very well will shed their bodies while just sitting in the remembrance. The souls will not then come back. Those souls just left while sitting in the remembrance of Baba. Here there is no question of Hatha Yoga, etc. You can see how they disappear when they go into trance. In the same way, you will shed your bodies while just sitting. You will go to the subtle region and then to the Father. Those who make a lot of effort to stay on the pilgrimage of remembrance will shed their body in this way. They will have visions. In the beginning, you had many visions. At the end, you will see many again in the same way. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. Patience of Dharana first. In order to become worthy of being seated in the temple, renounce body consciousness and engage yourself in doing spiritual service. Second, it is now time to go back home. Therefore, end whatever karmic accounts remain and whatever thoughts of business you have. Make effort to stay on the pilgrimage of remembrance. Blessing. May you overcome your subtle and strong bondages and become free from bondage with your yogic stage. First, the sign of being yogic is to be free from bondage. In becoming yogic, the greatest final bondage is to consider yourself to be sensible and to consider Srimad to be the wonder of your own intellect. It is the mixing of your own intellect with Srimad and is called ego of the intellect. Second, when someone gives you a signal about a weakness or when someone tells you something bad, if you have any waste thoughts, that too is bondage. When you overcome these bondages and make your stage equal in victory and defeat praise and defamation, you will then be said to be completely free from bondage. Slogan. The to consider everything before you act on something is a quality of knowledgeful soul. Thank you.